You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion.
Whoa! Now it's offensive.
My first claim is it is undeniable that reparations are just and necessary.
My name is Matt Nuclear.
Hello,
I
Matt.
appreciate
Matt Nuclear?
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake than that. Let's
Thank
do
you.
it.
I
All right.
appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the black community would be the stopping of violence, especially black on black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything.
Why did that offend you so much? I don't think a lot of people that want to help black people live near black people.
You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently. A $50,000 check, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we have the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this?
Because they were already consistent with their own family. And generally, they weren't trying to get rich. They were trying to send money to their family. They were going up a mountain for a future for their kid.
They are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that black people kill each other, according to the FBI.
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time.
No, statistics don't lie all the time. It can be possible. But if the statistic is lasting over and over time, and I see a consistency that I'm calling out and nobody wants to acknowledge it, and the issue persists, maybe you dress like that, talking in a condescending way is the issue.
So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So if you're going to start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. No one here is
Are you acting right now?
Nobody is acting. So many poor people from India, poor people from Africa start in low-wage places. They're just consistent, working together, and they manage to come out. Why would you expect them to come from India, understand Jim Crow, and stay in that situation? They don't understand that.
But they're surrounded by black people who are the descendants of Jim Crow and the crack epidemic and all kinds of just fucking bullshit that has been the black American experience in this country. And so these people are working with a completely different foundation. And instead of empathizing with that reality that these poorer black Americans who are the descendants of all these various kinds of oppression that came at the hands of white supremacy, they look down upon that.
They focus on something else. I'm not saying it's not important, but I think it's a distraction if you keep focusing on what is limiting you, man.
Do you really believe
I'm telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. What system is racist?
And I'm supposed to believe you speak in good faith. Because they can't believe somebody is thinking differently, so they just think it's a joke.
I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other. But they're more likely to kill each other.
Ooh, that might have pissed her off. Because yeah, but then again, your statistics are fake.
Than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor?
Yeah.
When black men are more likely to kill me.
Look at her smile. Both these girls are like, I'm conservative, I'm left-leaning, but I know it's true, but I can't say it.
Oh my
Tell me.
God, this is scary.
No.
You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion.
Whoa! Now it's offensive. Oh, my speech control. Hey, man, miss me. It's just that this is such a nice person, and I respect him. I can feel identified with him, even if he has two eyes. not because of the skin color.
I have a dream.
Remember to subscribe.
¿Por qué?
So let's check that now.
Okay.
Okay. So on a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is grounded in the realities that black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism, and we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with even the fact that redlining, which was implemented to discriminate black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I'm saying I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so at all.
So it does exist. And
Okay.
stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists. It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact. And there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems. If a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy.
No. Wait. I read about this. The taxes provide more than 1/3 of their funding to public schools nationwide. Therefore, school district with lower home values has less local. No, I checked this online. This is not true. Yes, many predominantly black or high school poverty receive more money per student than some predominantly white schools. But it's not because they're better funded. It's because the system is trying to patch over inequalities from property taxes and concentrated poverty. Despite the extra funding, the challenges in those schools are often greater, so the outcome still lags. In other words, they get more money, but they don't use it as effectively. So to lie to me, stop. That's why I don't like activists.
At allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve.
Then-
when we talk about systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in 3rd grade. So if you are literally building prisons with the onset of, okay, if these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline.
Didn't I make a previous video that about a huge percentage of kids in those neighborhoods are missing school? And that means usually the crime rate might go up, and then you're surprised prisons are made in those or near those situations to help people.
We can use their free labor. Then how is that not systemic? And if you want to
Stop them from entering prisons.
Yes.
how are you going to stop people from entering prisons?
Education! Come on, man.
If your goal is to get them into prison.
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King Von. That's very, very simple.
So
Ben
how does King Von happen? How does King Von happen?
King Von happen.
Reparation.
Hold on,
Actually,
let me
no.
finish.
Let me land the plane.
What do you mean, how did King Von happen? How did King Von happen? Well, you need to be able to help the father and the mother stay together so they don't fight as much. Give them money, like you give a bunch of people money to get their votes. Very simple. But they're so used to giving you the vote anyway without you helping them. So maybe you might be more responsible.
We're talking about reparations, and what you're doing is actually just trying to get this conversation off the facts. And
Ben
the fact
Carson's-
is,
Touché.
reparations are just and necessary because on a basic level, black people built this country, and the country continues to thrive off of the labor that black people put into this country.
If that was true, you would have made a bunch of African people responsible too. That's why when somebody was calling out people on CNN about this whole situation that, hey man, are we going to ask reparation of the black people that own slaves? Suddenly they caught the channel.
Reviewing parts of American history and parts of American culture to make sure it comports with Dear Leader and what the MAGA
Can we
organization
address
wants.
some of those things that are
So-
in there? Because have you looked at some of the things that
Yeah,
are being
slavery.
reviewed?
Yeah, slavery was a bad thing that was to talk about.
Okay.
Like, forgive
He's
me for
not
saying that.
whitewashing slavery. So
he's not?
He's not. No.
Okay.
He's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact that when you look at
Anti-slavery.
let's talk about the
he's
fact.
anti-slavery
Slavery in America was a
Do you
system
realize
of
that
white
only
supremacy.
less than 2% of white Americans own slaves?
But it was a system of white supremacy.
You
We know
realize that
African
slavery
Americans
is
were
thousands
slaves
of
and
years old?
White people were
Do you know
the slave
who
owners.
was the first race
I
to
didn't
try
realize
to
this was
end
controversial.
slavery?
Wait a second.
Well, what's controversial?
I'm very surprised
This is
that
an
you're trying to
extraordinary
litigate.
exercise in historical revisionism. I would say.
I'm really
Historical
surprised.
revisionism. Do you realize that
Jillian, I'm surprised that you're trying to litigate who was the beneficiary of slavery and
I'm
who
not.
was
Again!
And it would behoove you, young man, to really understand the way that your ancestors put blood, sweat, and tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears. And let me also add, there are reparations and then there is remuneration.
Do you think people that actually survived America would look back how you're speaking right now, the way you want to justify things as if you are thinking the right way? I come from a time that I remember black people were more together than split, and they were pointing at white people. See how many times they get divorced. We are strong and together. Now you totally changed the script. I think your ancestor would not be happy with what you're talking about right now.
Do you know the difference?
Yes, but can I finish one
No,
point that I wanted
answer
to
the
say?
question.
Ben Carson's cousins were killed at a very young.
I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority.
Okay.
Please return to your seat.
Ah.
I hope some of y'all are acting. I really do. We in LA, and I hope some people in here are acting.
And here are some comments. If she claims that all statistics are made up, how are we supposed to believe that hers aren't? She started by saying don't interrupt, then proceeds to constantly interrupt every person. And then bringing up problems and not addressing the root of the problem is the issue at hand. I totally agree with this one. I know for a fact that she's acting, she is very condescending, and I don't think she actually understands black people, especially when majority of the black people are poor, because she definitely ain't poor.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Durlo que ta verdetta welcome.